Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. Just going to put together a full step-by-step guide, just showing you how to replace the aircon radiator on this 2016 Ford Ranger. This one's a 3.2 wild track. Now I've not actually done a condenser on one of these before, so we'll just sort of crack on with it, see how it goes. If there's anything I need to explain differently, I'll just run you through that. But yeah, I've not done it before, so it is the first time. We'll just see if we can run you through it as best as we can. Just to start with, you always need to make sure there's no gas in the system. I know this one's empty, but just to make sure there's no pressure at all. Obviously, when we release the condenser, if there's any pressure in there, it'll be a lot better if it's obviously out. You need to get it gassed out properly, sucked out with an aircon machine. But it is empty, but I've just put a little valve on there just so I can release. You always keep a tiny little bit in there with a pump on, so you can just there's a last little bit in there. And if I just keep that valve on, I'll just make sure there's no pressure in the system once we've once we've got it all stripped down and get the condenser off. I'll just show you the new condenser we've got. If you check the links in the description below, I'll put a link to condenser and where you can get one from. They're not normally too expensive, but yeah, I'll put one in the link anyway if you want to check it out. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, just click on the red subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. Got a few other videos on the Ranger, and I've actually got another video replacing the aircon compressor, the pump on this one as well. So, but just to start with, we're just going to take this top trim off. You can just see we've got a couple of clips on there. Just need to pop the centre out there like a little rivet style clip. And then I think once we get them back clips out, it just pops in at the front here. So we'll get that off to start with and then move you on to the next step. So that's 5 of them clips out of the way. Next thing now, we're just going to get that panel popped up and off. And just see at the front of the panel, it's just got these clips along the front there. So you just need to just get underneath it and just sort of, not too forcefully, but just give it a bit of force to pop it in the upwards direction. So just show you at the minute, just basically took this pipe off, just it makes access really easy, just for the sake of undoing the 2 hose clips to get it out of the way. You can just see now, we've got the fittings for the condenser there. Basically both of these pipes go into the condenser. All we're going to do next is just undo that little 13mm socket, 13mm nut just on there. Then we're going to take this pipe off, take the other pipe off. And then the next thing we're going to do is probably, if you just see the condenser just at the front here actually bolts just from the front into the radiator. So I'm just going to undo these bolts for the radiator just to give us a little bit of room as well. It'll just allow us to just push the radiator back slightly. It might just make the job a little bit easier just for access as well. But just to undo the radiator, you can just see we've got a couple of 10mm, just one that side and one in the same place just on the other side there. So it might just allow us a little bit of extra room just to get in. But you can see the condenser, just try to show you quick, just bolts up just with a little bolt there on each side as well. So but yeah, we'll just get that fitting undone now, get the connection off and then move on from there. So that's the 2 fittings off now, and just make sure just not to lose them, but there is obviously a seal just on the bottom of each pipe where it goes into the condenser as well, and you do have to just undo this one first because you can just see the style of it. Can't quite see it on there, but it's got like a hook end to it which overlaps and just locks the other one into place, that's all. So but sometimes they can be a little bit tight in there, but they actually come out quite easily. So but that's the main fittings undone now. So next job, we're just going to undo them 10mm on the radiator just to give us a little bit of flex to push it back and see if we can undo the main mounting bolts for the actual condenser on the side there. Right, so everything's unbolted. We're now going to attempt to get the condenser out. As I said earlier, I've not actually done one of these on one of these models before, so I'm pretty sure, well, I'm hoping we'll get it out this way. But at the minute the two top fixings are undone, and it just drops into some little rubber bungs at the bottom, so it'll just pull straight up out of them. The only thing that I'm not sure about whether we're going to be able to just get it through or not is there's all this foam pad just down the side there, and obviously the pipe side of the condenser hooks through it just to the side here, so I'm hoping we can just jiggle it round enough just to get it through and out and just pull it up through this gap there. So we'll just have a go at it and see how we get on. Right, so that's the condenser out. As you see, just a little bit tight, bit of sort of wiggling and jiggling just to get it through, but I'll just sort of show you in a minute how we got it out. But you can just see now that it's out quite clearly where it's been leaking as well. You can see all the old aircon dye from when we was checking for a leak on the bottom there as well. Same on the back of it. The dye's quite clear on the back where it's all green on the bottom. But yeah, just to get it out, it did sort of lift the radiator out of its mounting points as well. You just see the big plastic bracket there where that just drops into a bit as well. You can sort of lift it out of that just to get an extra little bit of room as well. But originally I was going to try and sort of pull it forward and get it through and out, but it actually comes out a bit easier just guiding it upwards and just work it around this pipe there and then around your actual fixing for your radiator there, and just pulling it up and over that, it didn't actually come out too bad at all. So I'm just going to try now. Obviously with the old one it's not quite so bad, giving it a bit of a tug and being a little bit rough with it, but with the new one you need to be quite delicate as you put it back into place. So just going to carefully drop that back in now, just get it located right. Just need to make sure that your radiator mounting is back into the place. You'll know when it's back into place, you can feel it's quite solid, and then obviously your rubbers there will just line up with the bolt holes as well. So but yeah, we'll just crack on now, just drop the new one into place, then we'll speed through getting it all back together, and then once it's back together we'll just run you through just gassing it up as well. Obviously we've got an aircon machine to gas it up, but if you haven't got a machine you will need to take it somewhere afterwards to get it gassed up correctly, that's all. I'll just show you quickly on the new aircon radiators. They do normally come sealed and pressurised, not always but most of the time they do. So the little 10mm cap just holding some bungs in there. When we take that out you'll probably find there'll be a little bit of pressure in there. And then on the bottom you just need to swap over the rubber bungs as well. I think they've just stayed, yeah, rubber bungs are just on the old radiator there, so I'm going to take them out, drop them into the panel, or stick them on the radiator and we'll drop them in with it, that's all. Now, it's just as I took that out, I could hear like the pressure release, which is a good sign. It means that your radiator is not damaged. So if you do take them out and there's no hiss or anything, it is always just worth checking as well, just making sure there's no damage, because basically they are designed to be stored with sort of vacuum or pressure in them, that's all. Right, so that's all fitted into place now. The mounting bungs are, can't quite get the torch on there, but the mounting bungs at the bottom are located nicely into place. It's a little bit fiddly to do and a bit awkward, but not too bad really. Just make sure you get it slotted in the right place, that's all. The radiator's dropped in its bung at the bottom properly. You can just see the bolt hole's going to line up there as well. We're just left to swap the fixings over for the aircon pump, for the aircon pipes when we put them in. Obviously, the only thing I haven't done is it would be nice to have put new seals in there, but at the minute I haven't got any. I like to just hope for the best for them seals and make sure they reseal, but really it's probably worth getting a couple of new seals for them pipes while you're swapping it over as well. And the new condenser doesn't come with a bolt in there, so I mean, we're just going to have to double nut the stud on the old one there just to get the stud out, or if we really have to do, I'll just find a bolt that'll just go through and nip them both down. But they don't need to be silly tight or anything, just a nip down really, just a bit of a light nip just to butt it up, that's all. But we'll just get all that back together, just speed through this bit. Obviously we're just putting it back together exactly as we took it apart, and then we'll just show you just gassing it up quickly and just testing it after it's gassed up. Right, so that's everything back together now, exactly as we took it off. Just left that valve on there at the minute, but I'm just going to get it up to the aircon machine, just run you through quickly just what we do with that. But yeah, at this stage now, obviously, if you haven't got any access to a machine, you'll just have to take it just to get it purely gassed up, that's all. Right, so just got it over ready to be gassed up. Basically, we've got a Texas aircon machine. This one's for the R134A gas, which is on this model. Some of the newer stuff's on the R1234, which is a little bit more expensive as well. But you can buy like the refill kits from places like Alfred's and stuff like that, but I wouldn't really recommend them. It's much better to get it done properly with a machine. It drags the system down, it vacuums it properly, it puts oil in with it. When you've replaced certain items, I think when you replace the compressors on these, you're meant to put about 80 mils of oil in them. There'll be different amounts that you need to put in depending on what items you've replaced. But I'll just check on our Tech Data machine, just see what it says. But there will be an amount of oil that I'll have to select to input with the machine as well. So it's quite important to put the oil in with it because it lubricates stuff like the compressor. But basically on the system you've seen the port for the high pressure already, which is this one at the front there. The low pressure port is the one at the back there. Just got that valve on it, so we'll just take that off now as well. And it's quite straightforward with the machine. I mean, this Texas machine's all fully automated, but we'll just hook it up, set the vacuum time, set the amount of gas to go in it. And obviously there's specific amounts to go in it. Again, our tech information site, the Haynes Pro site, will tell us exactly what amount this system takes. So we'll gas it all up correctly to exactly the amount. That's the only thing with the refill bottles as well. You never really know if you're getting the right exact amount in there. So it's a lot better to get it done with a proper machine. So. But this machine does take about half hour to gas it up, so I'm just going to speed through, just skip through this step where I gas it up. We'll get it all gassed up and then just run you through just testing it quickly once it's all fitted. But as you can see up to now, that's pretty much the main sort of replacement of the condenser done. So if the video helped, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, we'll just crack on, get it gassed up now and just check it's working after. I'll just show you quickly, I just double checked on the machine and you can just see for the aircon on this system, actually if replacing the compressor, you should put 150 mils in there. For the condenser, which we've done today, you've got another 80 mils. So it's quite important because normally the machine will just put about sort of 10 mils in. So, and you can just see it just shows you the types of gas there, depending on the year range as well. This one's 2013 on, so it should have 565 grams in there, plus or minus 25 grams. So we'll just get that all set up correctly and get it gassed up. We've just got the connections on there ready, just screwed up. The UV is for the dye, which we always put a dye in just as a matter of course. It's just for leak testing. If if this the gas disappeared after a week or two or a month with the dye in there, we should be able to chase it with the leak detection kit and just see where the actual leak's coming from a bit easier with the dye in there. And that's it, it's all going. This machine's fully automated now, so it'll be about 30 minutes and it'll all be gassed up and done. If it's got a big leak, the machine will detect it and it will stop the regas. It'll detect it while it's doing a vacuum. It'll know that it can't draw the vacuum properly, so it'll pause it and tell you that there's a big leak. But most of the time it'll only detect a leak if it is a big leak. That's the idea of putting the dye in, so if it's got a small leak, we'll be able to chase that at a later date. But yeah, we'll just leave it to gas up now and then just finish the video once it's all gassed up and working. Right, so it's all gassed up now. I've just actually pulled it out, but it's took the gas, the machine's happy, it's done the regas. The only thing done, just put the two caps back on. Just to test it really, it's just a case of striking it up, just running it up. I'm just going to put the aircon on, just make sure it's working. You can get it down to temperature. Now I didn't realise we have actually got a piece of kit that's like a leak detection kit, and it's got a temperature probe on it as well, just to check the temperature and check what it's getting down to. But I've actually lent it out at the minute, so can't just show that on the video today. But yeah, just striking it up. Obviously just put your aircon on and just simply check, and you can feel obviously when your aircon's working anyway as well. Would have just been nice just to show you just on the temperature reading what it had dropped down to, that's all, but obviously we're not going to be able to do that today. Yeah, I can feel already that's coming through nice and cold. It's definitely working. So, but yeah, hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out some of the other content on there as well. There's a few other range of videos on there that you might want to check out.